Hello, my name's Libby Burton. I'm Professor of Sustainable Building Design and Wellbeing at the University of Warwick. I've just been awarded what's called a Dream Fellowship, which sounds fantastic, and it is fantastic. It's been awarded by the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, and it's a new scheme to try and promote creative, multidisciplinary work that doesn't usually get funded through the normal academic routes. The Dream Fellowship's really important to me because it's a sign that what I'm doing is seen to be important and valuable, and it's given me renewed enthusiasm and energy for my work. So what is my vision for the Dream Fellowship? My vision is to try and promote a new approach to the design of the built environment, one that puts people at the centre and uses evidence in doing so. Let me ask you a question. If you had to choose just one, to be happy or to be healthy, what would you choose? I bet you'd say you'd like to be happy because most of us only fear being unhealthy because we think it'll make us unhappy. But actually you can be well and unhappy and vice versa. And we know a lot now about what will make us happy. A lot of research has been carried out in the last 10 to 20 years. We know, for example, that good relationships are central to our happiness. We also know that having resilience, being able to experience flow in what we're doing, get absorbed in things, having meaning, is all important to our happiness. But what do we do to actually make sure that we have greater happiness as a society? Well, my interest is the built environment, the buildings and spaces that surround us every day. What if we could make that environment an environment that helped us to be happier? For example, we could have homes designed with spaces that minimise the friction between members of families. Imagine streets and neighbourhoods which gave you the privacy you needed when you needed to retreat from society, but at the same time allowed us to meet people for the first time, bump into our neighbours and so on. We could have workplaces that enable us to concentrate really well and be creative in the work we're doing. So over the next 2 years of my Dream Fellowship, I'll be dreaming about these possibilities. And what am I actually going to do? I think to make any progress in this area, we need to answer 3 key questions first. The first question is, what do we mean by an environment that helps us to be happier? What objectives would we be pursuing as designers? The second question, if we know what we're trying to achieve, how do we do the research to find out what works and what doesn't? What sort of environments? How would we need to design those environments to help us to be happy? We need to know the best methods to be able to do that. And the third and last question will be, how do we ensure that that evidence is actually used in practice? And in terms of what I'll be doing every day, there's all sorts of activities that I'm planning. I want to get people talking and thinking about what it means to design the built environment for happiness and well-being. I want to get people together and create a network of everyone who's interested in this subject. So for that, I might use a website, I might start to blog and tweet, forms of communication that I've never really had time to learn about before. I also want to travel and meet eminent academics across the world who have something they can teach me in this area and who could contribute to developing it. And I want to run workshops where people from different disciplines can discuss the issues and think about what the best future directions are and what the best future methodologies are. And it's no good just talking to the academics. I also need to talk to the practitioners and the policymakers, to the architects, the engineers, the urban designers, the professional bodies that represent them, and also to the health professionals, the public health specialists, the occupational health therapists, to talk to them about what is needed to change the system so that we start to have a different approach to designing the built environment. But we may need to change things more fundamentally. We may need to look at how training and courses can be developed to think about design for well-being. And we may need to offer more incentives to developers to think about it. So I'm going to explore the idea of introducing an award system or kite mark which recognises design for well-being in the built environment in the same way that sustainability kite marks do at the moment. But through all of these activities, I'm hoping that I'll be able to have some answers to the 3 questions I mentioned earlier. And that might give us the basis to begin to create and adapt environments that help us to truly flourish as individuals, which is, after all, what we all want.